Hello and welcome. If you miss it or want to remember the best moments of this movie, here we review The Good Liar. London 2009. Roy Courtnay and Betty McLeish, both widowers, after being chatting in an online dating site, meet for dinner. At the end of their date, she offers to take Roy, but he indicates that he will return by train to his home. Betty then lives with her grandson who came to pick her up. Roy and Betty have a new date, but upon realizing that the restaurant is closed, Betty takes Roy in her new car to her new house in a private condominium. Stephen, Betty's grandson, arrives at the house and is surprised to find both of them there having dinner. Roy is introduced to Stephen. After finishing dinner, Betty takes Roy to his apartment, realizing that he lives on the top floor, very unfavorable for his knee problem. Betty insists Roy to stay with her. Stephen becomes uncomfortable with the degree of trust between his grandmother and the unknown Mr. Courtnay. The next day, Roy leaves Betty's house to finalize the transaction between Russian investors and Englishmen, who, to make up for Bryn's mistake at the previous meeting, after transferring funds from both parties, they are apparently surprised by the police. However, it was all a trick by Roy along with his partner Vincent. Roy makes Vincent to present the benefits of a joint investment to Betty, as she, as a retired teacher from Oxford plus her late husband's capital, was the perfect victim. But Betty is reluctant to this proposal. Days after, Roy shows Betty a check with the earnings he has obtained from a previous investment. Betty tells him that she always wanted to go to Berlin, but Roy prefers to visit other countries. But once learning of Betty's delicate health, Roy agrees to please her. While Betty does some shopping with Roy, Bryn, who discovered the £100,000 scam, follows Courtnay to confront him. The ride in Berlin is joined by Stephen, who takes them to an apartment where he reveals that Roy is not who he claims to be, because Officer Roy Courtnay died after an altercation with a Nazi criminal there in 1948. This makes this man confess to being actually Hans Taub, a German translator for the English officer Courtnay, on whom once dead he took his identity. Betty accepts his explanation and rejects her grandson's objections. Back in London, Betty decides to participate in the investment. Roy makes the arrangements with Vincent. Roy makes up an excuse to leave the house, ready to leave Betty penniless, as he did with his other victims. Later, Roy realizes that he does not bring the tablet with him to access his account, having to return to Betty, who was already waiting for him in a now empty house. He initially says he came back due to a change in plans. Betty tries to get Roy to confess. Seeing him confused and unwilling to cooperate, she reveals that she is Lily, whom Roy, before Hans, taught English as teenagers in 1943 while living in Berlin. In his last class, Hans abused Lily because of feeling humiliated by her sisters. After he was fired from continuing his classes, he denounced Lily's father as a traitor who was executed by the Nazis. This led to Lily's mother committing suicide. Lily's sisters were later killed in an explosion just 2 weeks before Adolf Hitler's death. After the war ended, Lily went to England. Lily explains to Roy that she has been fully aware of his plan to cheat on her the entire time, and his identity was confirmed with a DNA test using a Lily childhood medallion containing Hans' hair. She also reveals to him that Vincent has betrayed him. Betty takes all of Roy's money from the joint account, leaving him only enough money to pay the victims of his previous scam. Just as she prepares to leave the house, Roy closes the door and attacks her, but she manages to defend herself. Betty leaves the house while Roy confronts his latest victims. Weeks later, Roy shows up in the hospital, practically catatonic, while Betty spends a happy afternoon with her big family. So ends The Good Liar, a thriller, starring Ian McKellen and Helen Mirren, released in November 2019. Now we have 5 curiosities of this film. Helen Mirren and Ian McKellen meet for the first time in a movie. Jeffrey Hatcher, writer of The Good Liar, also wrote Mr. Holmes. Roy takes Betty to watch Inglourious Basterds, commenting on leaving the theater about how Hitler's death is shown. This gives us a clue to the past of both. From the beginning, they both lied in their profiles. He saying that his name was Brian, who did not smoke. No. She with the name Estelle, who did not drink.
Baby, no.
While Betty and Roy are at the slow train station, a partially purple train is passing by. This is one of the new trains on the Elizabeth line, which still ran experimentally in 2019 and did not exist in 2009, the date on which the film is set.